welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video, we got a little something different, boys. Yeah, that's right. We've got a brand new 2021 GSXR 600. It's bone stock, guys. No exhaust, no air filter, no nothing. Yeah, we're gonna take this brand new GSXR and we are gonna dyno tune a bone stock bike in stock configuration. So the bike does not have an exhaust pipe, it does not have anything done to it. We are gonna see how much power we can get out utilizing the stock exhaust system. So the customer is wanting to keep this bike as quiet and as factory looking and sounding as possible. So no problem, we can make it happen. We're gonna open up the factory exhaust valve, keep the valve open sooner. Down here on the bottom, they have an exhaust servo valve. We're gonna open that up. We're gonna open up all the throttle restrictions in the throttle, in the secondary throttle plates. We got a lot of things we can do. We got ignition timing, we got the bike, the fueling is not right on it. We're gonna make this thing a million times better with the factory ECU, just reflashing it, no other modifications. Watch and see what kind of magic we can work, guys. Here we go, baseline pull on this GSXR 600. Listen how quiet the little guy is. Alright, before we get into some more dyno runs, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going on in the ECU of this bike and what we can do, so you guys better understand of how we're getting this horsepower. So one of the first things we're going to do is go in and disable the stock O2 sensor. The stock O2 sensor tells the bike to run extremely lean, and that is going to cause a jerky and twitchy riding condition. So when you're on the gas, on the throttle, off the throttle, the bike is just on, off, on, off, on, off. You like those throttle hand movements right there, don't you? No, but the bike, it's just, it literally is so twitchy, it just makes the bike uncomfortable to ride. Another thing we can do is lower the fan temps, 95 degrees Celsius, that's about 195 Fahrenheit. We can lower that down, we can change the idle. Another thing we can do is we can disable the exhaust valve code. That's if you had removed the factory exhaust valve. Now in this customer's case, we will not be removing that, so we're not going to click that box, but we can disable the decel fuel cut, which is whenever we let off the throttle, it's going to keep the fuel injectors running for a split second and create a much smoother on and off throttle transition. Something else we can do, of course, we can disable the top speed rev limiter, so you will not have a top speed rev limiter. We can change the actual rev limiter on the bike, get a few more RPMs there. But one of the things I wanted to show you here, this is called a secondary throttle plate opening. Here's our gear we're in, 6th gear, and then you can see here where the bike actually has restrictions in the factory throttle. So you can see at 13,000 RPMs, the secondary throttle plates close back to 80%. So even though you're wide open with the throttle locked, the bike cuts back to 80%, then 77%, about 2,000 RPMs early. Another thing too, the secondary throttle plates don't open up to 100% until about 8,000 RPMs before it goes to 96.5. So we change all this to 100. Whenever you go 100% throttle, the bike goes 100% throttle, and the bike is limited like that in each gear. So you're going to see big gains on the top end, high RPM rev limit like that, and then we can also go in and adjust the fuel and ignition maps where the ignition is held back We're gonna go in and change that to get some more power there, and then we're gonna dial the fuel maps in so the bike runs much smoother there. Now let's take all that, put it into effect with the ECU Flash, and see what kind of horsepower gains we get. Fuel ratio nice and smooth now, way better than before. From the factory, these things run crazy lean. All right guys, final numbers are up. Look at the gains we got. We went from 100 horsepower to 107. You got a gain of 8 horsepower right here at 14,000 RPMs. Killer gains throughout the whole entire horsepower curve. 3 foot-pounds of torque, and it pretty well holds that the whole way. You can see even down low, we picked up horsepower down there. At 6,000 RPMs, we were able to pick up 1 horsepower, 2 horsepower in certain areas, and then once you get up to around 10,000, you see we're gaining 3 horsepower, but up top where those secondary throttle plates start to close, huge gains. 7 horsepower, that is huge on a 600, guys. That's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe button. Next time, I promise I'll be back on my GoPro. Today we're on my cell phone, but I had this perfect video, this GSXR 600 we just had to catch on video and couldn't let it slip up. MoreMafia.com, you see the new t-shirts, check those out there. You can get those on the way. ECU Flash, get it on the way. Keychains, whatever you need, we got it hooked up. Smash that like button. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Guys, thanks for sticking around. One more update before we go on the video. I want to show you what's going on with Melania, the race bikes. As a lot of you guys know that follow the channel all the time, we do a lot of drag racing, and if you saw in our last drag racing video, this bike here gave us all kind of problems. The chain jumped off. When the chain jumped off, it broke the engine case. I'll show you just what it broke right here. So you can see this is where it broke the sprocket cover, bolts here to the outside. It broke the case where the sprocket cover bolts on. So now we can't hold the sprocket cover on, which also holds the push rod in the motor. The push rod is what deactivates the clutch. So anyways, swap motors, put a different motor in. The other motor blew the, I guess you'd say, the output shaft seal. That's like a rear main seal in a car. Blew that seal out. You can see how this one is braced up and held in. So nothing but problems that day. We also had to get a new swing arm. When it broke the chain adjuster, this piece right here broke. The wheel cocked sideways. That caused the whole entire swing arm to work. Now we had to get a whole entire brand new swing arm. DME Racing hooked us up, got us the swing arm back quick. Not back quick, got us a whole new swing arm quick. And we got this thing all ready to install. Look at the quality of this thing. Super nice welds. Very nice piece. But anyways, we should have this bike 100% back together probably in the next week or two. So stay tuned, more race videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.